Tonight, national referendum to decide on proposed amendments to the Constitution, consultation to review the national sports body NISCA's constitution, and members assisting ministers re-engaged until the end of the year. Good evening and welcome to our BCN News Bulletin. I'm Mersa Takala. A special whakalofa atu to our viewers from across the region, thanks to our partners at Pacifica TV. Leading our bulletin tonight, in a media statement released on Tuesday afternoon, the Speaker of the Niue Assembly, Hema Douglas, has issued a public statement declaring that Saturday, 31st August, is the date for the national referendum to decide on the proposed amendments to the Constitution. The referendum is held in conjunction with the village council elections, and the electorate is being asked to decide on 4 amendments, and these are to change the title of Premier to Prime Minister, to increase the size of cabinet by adding 2 more ministers, to extend the term of the Assembly from 3 to 4 years, and to name the Auditor General of New Zealand as the official auditor instead of the current Audit Office of New Zealand. Voters will be required to decide on each proposed amendment rather than a single yes or no vote on all 4 amendments. The result of the referendum will be decided on the majority of the vote's validity cost and not on the basis of each village constituency. Speaker Douglas is expecting the results of the referendum to be known by Monday, September the 2nd, at which time there will be a special signing in the chambers of the bills for those amendments meeting that required majority threshold. The following public notices are hereby issued by the Chief Electoral Officer, Darren Toavaka, and are made pursuant to Section 25, 26, and 27 of the Niue Assembly Act 1966 and relate to the Niue Village Council elections 2024. The notice is given that the electoral rolls for the respective villages of Niue are now open for inspection. The electoral rolls are available for inspection at the Department of Justice, Land Survey and Community Services at Fonuakula during office hours of the Government of Niue. There is also an intention to post all electoral rolls at the respective village meeting halls throughout Niue. All electoral rolls will be closed on Tuesday, 20th August 2024 at 4 p.m. The closing of the electoral roll is important because once the roll is closed, no names may be entered on or removed from the roll. Only the person who are registered on the electoral rolls can vote, and all objection by voters or by the registers in charge of the roll must be determined before the roll closes. More information is on the Government of Niue website page. The government this week announced that the positions of the members assisting ministers, which were suspended at the end of the last financial year in June, this year will be reinstated. Here's more with Esther Pavihi.
The re-engagement of the members assisting ministers came into effect on Monday this week, August the 12th, and will end on the 31st of December this year, according to the government's press release. In an interview 2 weeks ago with BCN News, Premier Dalton Tagilangi said that if the people support the constitutional amendment bill to increase the number of cabinets from 4 members to 6, then the civil list law, which allows for the MAMs, will be changed and the members assisting ministers will no longer be.
By having the MAMs, as we all know, but they are the bridge from the minister and the ministries or departments. But that can be still be utilized in some other way, but definitely the positions will be removed if the people decide for an extra ministers.
In the press statement earlier this week, Premier Tagilangi was pleased to announce the re-engagement of the members assisting the ministers for the Ministry of Central Agencies, Ministry of Social Services, and the Ministry of Finance and Infrastructure, and also the Ministry of Natural Resources. Mr. Muyakituki Riki Makani, the member for Tamagotonga, will be the member assisting the Minister for Infrastructure. Ms. Kahealani Sinahemana Hikau, Commonwealth member, will be assisting the Minister for Central Agencies, and Mrs. Maureen Milikitama, the member for Mutalau, will assist the Minister for Social Services, and Mr. Emani Whakausimanawa Lui, Commonwealth member, will assist the Minister for Natural Resources. Premier Tagilangi, in his statement, extended on behalf of the Cabinet its appreciation to the MAMs for their dedication and significant contributions to the work of the ministers. Esther Pavihi for BCN News.
2 members of the Commonwealth Games Federation are currently on the island for the first time, conducting consultations with the various sporting bodies to review the Niue Island Sports and Commonwealth Games Association's constitution. The consultation hopes that all the relevant stakeholders will work together despite the challenges, as relationship building is critical in moving forward. Australia-based Regional Development Manager for Asia and Oceania at the Commonwealth Games Federation, Melody Cooper, told BCN News on what their federation is all about.
The Commonwealth Games Federation is based out of London. We have 74 Commonwealth Games associations, so that's our membership. And yeah, we're essentially around actually bringing all of our CGAs together, Commonwealth United, and trying to use sport as a power to bring people together.
Based in England, Millie Broadbent, the Legal and Compliance Manager at CGF, explains more on how the review of the Niue Island Sports and Commonwealth Games Association Constitution will work.
So what we've done is developed a process for the week. So we've split it up into the times we can to have consultations one-on-one with the sport bodies across Niue. The importance for us is that your constitution should be a document for your members. And so what we really want to utilise this time is to get feedback from the sports codes, how the constitution works for them and aligns with their constitution, and what the key areas are for improvement.
Cooper says the consultation is an opportunity to connect with the various sporting bodies in Niue on relevant information that can be shared in order to design the framework moving forward. They are both encouraging all sporting bodies to attend their week-long consultations.
So NISCA invited us, the CGF, as independents to review the Constitution, and it's providing us the opportunity to connect with all of the sports community, so national sports federations, government, but other key stakeholders that have relevant information that they feel that is important to share with us to inform how we design the framework moving forward. So it's really around unpacking information to get a status update of where all of the sports federations are, and then that will establish where we go.
Meanwhile, in a media release yesterday, Sports Minister Honourable Sonia Talangi expressed gratitude to the Commonwealth Games Federation and the Niue Island Sports and Commonwealth Games Association for their ongoing efforts to support the development of sports in Niue. While the short notice for the consultations is less than ideal, Minister Talangi appreciates the dedication of both organizations in advancing an independent review of NASCA's constitution. It has been known for some time that the Cabinet has appointed new members to several of its statutory and SOE boards. The confirmation of the names of the BCN board was received from the Office of the Clerk to Cabinet on Tuesday this week. Here's more with Esther Pavihi.
The Cabinet on the 28th of May reappointed Reverend Scanlon Misiapo, Dempster Tomailunga and Miss Inangaro Vakafe to the board, and appointed new members Patrick Lino, Thomas Talangi and Reverend Dr. Penny Tongiatama. Also on the board are two ex-officio members, one representative from the Ministry of Finance and one from the Department of Community Affairs. On the 3rd of July this year, the government amended the Broadcasting Act of 1989 with the Broadcasting Board of Directors Amendment Act 2024 to increase the number of board members from 6 to 8. Now there are an equal number of board members to the number of permanent staff of the BCN. 3 of the board members reside in New Zealand. Esther Pavihi for BCN News.
Gail Cottrell of the Niue Rock Vets is pleading with the community regarding the recent theft at the clinic and if the items can be returned to them. Cottrell says their service, which has been operating now for 10 years, is for the people of Niue. She is kindly reminding everyone to respect their clinic and to treat it as sacred.
In regard to what's happened at our clinic, which is a clinic for you people on Niue, for your animals, we've had people take advantage of lack of security, and we're concerned that this is somewhat disrespectful and that you are perhaps disadvantaging other people. A cage has gone missing and some things were broken when you were in there, but we just have to emphasize how much we appreciate being able to have a base which we didn't have for the first 8 years, I think. So to have a base now is really important. It means that you can get a much better service. If you find at home a strange cage, whether it be one of our metal traps, which we have lost a number of, or a larger dog crate, please could you drop it back to the clinic? Look, no questions asked. We would just appreciate it back so we can share it with other people on the island.
The team of 10 is currently on the island and will be tending to dissecting dogs and cats throughout the week.
Yes, we've got an experienced team back with us, a much smaller one this time, and we have a terrific response from the community at bringing their animals in. There's a lot of people getting the things checked that they were worried about.
The Alofi Village Council has raised concern about the works that Telecom Niue is undertaking to lay fibre cables by cutting into some of the sidewalks that have already been sealed by the China Railway First Group. BCN News reached out to the CEO of Telecom Niue, Anurag Tendon, who responded by saying that he understands the concerns about the timing and coordination of these projects, and it's important to clarify that the current work being done by Telecom Niue is focused on laying conduits in driveways where they were missed out. He added some of the sidewalks had to be dug up to replace cables damaged by the roading crew, and they are trying to limit the scope of their work to the sidewalks, and there are no plans at this time to cut or disturb the main road itself. Tendon said the cutting currently being done will be covered up once the conduits have been laid, restoring the affected areas to their original condition with the help of the Chinese contractors. He appreciates the understanding and patience as they work to improve the infrastructure in Alofi and remain committed to minimizing any disruption caused by this necessary work. And last Friday, Kendra Collections expanded their business by officially opening another store, Kendra Kids, selling a wide variety of items located by the roadside on your drive to Alofi South. Kendra Kids Executive Manager Chantel Strickland said since their opening last week, the public's response has been positive, introducing something new to the market.
On behalf of Mark Blumsky, we opened up Kendra's Kids for our Kendra's Club members only. It was an exclusive event, and we opened from 12 to 5, and we saw around over 100 people come through the stores in that short amount of time. And it's been good. The community have really enjoyed themselves here. So here at Kendra's Kids, we have lollies, milkshakes, and our most popular thing is our soft serve ice cream. We also supply toys, kids' books, and we'll also be doing a craft area for the kids as well. As we've noticed around the globe that a craft section is quite popular for people here, and they want to be making their own jewelry and such.
The shop boasts a kids' play area with a spacious, colorful sitting area outside the shop. There are plans to have movie nights with kids, and the shop is expecting a popcorn machine to be shipped in by this month.
In the future, we are looking at expanding our business and introducing a late night movie night for the kids. Along that, we'll also have a popcorn machine. So it's something different for the community. We want to give the kids something that they can create memories here growing up, as well as we all would have experienced overseas as well at the movie theatres. There are lollies here, but we also do have 30 plus options of sugar-free, so available for people. So there are different options here.
Customers have the freedom to pick from the varieties of candies and are also given a health information leaflet once they pay. Kendra Kids is open from Mondays to Sundays with a staff of 3 mending the shop. Digital transformation was one of the topics during the sessions between the Niue High School and primary school teachers and staff with a team from the New Zealand Pacifica Principal Association. Facilitator Jerry Liu Pepe revealed this to BCN News last week.
Biggest sort of vibe that I'm starting to get, and one that I would deliver on Friday, is around digital transformation, around the use of digital technologies, more so with AI technology, and how do we implement that into our education system to ensure that we can be a lot more efficient, but that we also continue the impact that we have with our students. Because, just talking here with the college teachers, you talk about teacher shortage, and that's not something that's just unique to Niue or to Tonga, to Samoa. It's actually quite across the world. So it's now important how do we start to reimagine, how do we resource our teaching force through technology, but ensuring that we keep balance and not lose sight of who we are as educators.
He says it's now important on how to integrate digital technology and how this can be implemented into the education system to ensure how we can be more efficient and the impact it can have with students. The association also donated some resources to both the schools.
There's always going to be things around infrastructure and resources in general. I mean, we've been very, very fortunate that we've brought over with us as well a whole bunch of resources for the primary and also for the college. But I think Friday is going to be the day where we will be able to really get back to this community via our professional development workshops.
An 18-member team from the New Zealand Pacifica Principal Association were on the island last week, touring the school and meeting the staff and students of both the Niue Primary and Niue High School. The New Zealand Pacifica Principal Association is aimed at proactively advancing the cause of Pacifica education in the region. It has about 130 members who are mostly of Pacific heritage. And in sports, the Tuamotu Round 1 game tournament began last Saturday at the Paliasi grounds. Tuamotu Niue Rugby League Vice President Dave Ulukita said the South and North teams played a great game, with the South's team Tafiti taking out Game 1 with a score of 40 against North team Motu 20. He thanked both coaches from the South and North for their time in preparing the boys leading up to Game 1, referee Carl Vasau, and all the sideline officials. Game 2 will be played on Saturday, 24th August at 3 p.m. at the Paliasi grounds. Ulukita also added there will be a rugby league style relay halftime show, which will include primary school kids from the ages of 5 and 6, displaying rugby league skills with both girls and boys participating. They thank all their sponsors and supporters and look forward to Game 2 in 2 weeks' time. And the Niue Met Service has recorded the coldest temperature for Niue on Tuesday. Niue Met Service Director Rosie Misiapo has confirmed this, stating that they recorded low temperatures due to the high-pressure system to the far south. She added the minimum temperature this year is much lower than last year. It was 9.9 degrees at the Waipapahi station, with lower temperatures from the Liku and Hannan stations. According to the latest Niue Met Service Facebook post, a strong wind warning remains in force for Niue land areas. So stay warm, everybody. And on our feature segment tonight, BCN News spoke with professional photographer and makeup designer Janine Sisi. The Auckland-based artist has maternal links to the village of Makefu and Tuapa and is visiting the Rock to work on a personal project of hers titled Legacy Portraits of Niue. Janine Sisi always had a passion for photography when she was young, and when she got her first camera, a Pentax K1000 camera at 15, there was no looking back.
So both my parents were in the New Zealand Army, so they spent 10 years in Singapore. That's where I was born. So Singapore born. Later on they moved to New Zealand and we settled in a town called Wanganui, where I grew up the majority of my childhood. During that time we attended a Samoan PIC, where I discovered my love for the Pacific culture. Later on, around the age of 10, we moved to Auckland and we settled in Otara in South Auckland, and it was like going home. So, because I had grown up and spent a lot of Christmases going to Otara every December, and yeah, I just settled in really, really easily, and it was a good transition from small town Wanganui to the big city of Auckland. So did intermediate, high school. After high school, during high school, I didn't get into photography class at school, and I knew that I wanted to be a photographer. So after high school, I had to go and pursue higher education through a photography course at MIT.
Her Auckland-based Forever Portrait studio business began in 2022. She says the name of her studio signifies the importance of capturing and preserving ourselves and the people we love for all time, intended to last forever.
So at around the age of 17, I started getting people asking me to photograph their weddings, babies, newborns, just people, maternity, and it just kind of snowballed from there. And it's always just been something that's come to me. And my natural ability has attracted people to my style.
Her Legacy Portraits of Niue project is one that was inspired to honor her grandparents. Sisi was emotional while sharing this. She has been traveling around the island taking portraits of 10 cherished Niuean seniors. BCN caught up with her as she took portraits of the former Premier of Niue, young Vivian, at the Ecclesia Church in Hakupu.
The importance of that is to have that historical preservation of our culture, so that the future generations can see a glimpse into the past and maybe feel a bit connected to, a time that once was. you know, because time stands still for no one. And what we do as photographers is we preserve, and that's just a powerful notion in itself.
She shared some of the highlights of her sessions here. The best part of her job is when people get emotional and are thankful when they get to see their portraits.
They've all stood out. You know, I've been welcomed into people's homes, and, you know, I've met them before the session, and they've often looked at me, oh, why do you want to photograph me? I'm not important. But that's not true. Everyone has an important story. Everyone's important to someone. You're loved, and I want to capture that spirit, that tiny bit of history, and give it to your family to keep forever.
The professional makeup designer has worked for Kingston Productions on their Brutal Lives Season 1 and 2, Tiki Lounge Productions, and the popular Inky Pinky Ponky movie. Cece's advice to anyone on the rock wishing to pursue a career in photography?
I would say just start. Practice patience. The art of photography is not about just holding down the trigger and machine gunning all the, you know, images. Just practice a bit of patience, pull back, look at the moment and capture the moment when it's time. Don't just capture it because, you know, you've got the button there. So patience, and also if you really want to pursue photography, know the business side. You have to know what it takes to live in this business. Support your business and support your family at the same time.
And just a kind reminder that the village of Tamakutonga will be having their village show day this Saturday. We will see you there. And that's our news bulletin for tonight. You can join us next Tuesday for our Wangahau Bulletin. Until then, good evening.